Actually, just by reciting the refuge prayers, it is beneficial, but if we recite without the concentration or with distracted mind, then it's not so beneficial. So now the next main topic is the second one, which is the object of taking refuge. Generally, refuge is practiced by all the Buddhist schools. All the Buddhists have the refuge. So refuge is the root of all the Buddha Dharma, and it is the preliminary of all the Buddhist path, and it is the base of all the Buddhist vows, and also it is the one that distinguishes between Buddhist and non-Buddhist. So I'm talking about the genuine Buddhist, the genuine refuge vow. So genuine refuge vow is the one that is the root of all the Buddha Dharma, etc. So whether one is Buddhist or not, from method side, it can be distinguished through the genuine refuge vow, and from the wisdom side, four seals of authenticating the views. So from the wisdom side, whether one is accepting the four seals of authenticating the views, like all compound things are impermanence, all contaminated things are suffering, all the phenomena are selflessness, and nirvana is peace. So whether one accepts these four authenticating views or not, so through this way one can distinguish whether one is Buddhist or not from the wisdom side. So it is said in the text or in the treatise that even one is a good practitioner, if one does not rely on triple gem, then still one is not a Buddhist. So just having a good heart or positive mind, or just having the belief in the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, or just having the loving kindness and compassion, if one does not have the genuine refuge vow, then one is still not a Buddhist. Actually, here now we are talking about the object of refuge. So all the Buddhists, they accept the object of the refuge is Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. But the way they recognize the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha are different. There are different ways of explaining the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha in the Shravakas and Patikas and Mahayana school. So, the one who shows us the path, one who has guided us is the Guru, root and lineage Guru. The one who really guides us, the one who directly guides us or shows us the path are our root Guru, and then their gurus are our lineage gurus. According to the Vajrayana tradition, then we take refuge in the guru separately from the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So we have 4 objects. But 3 objects or 4 objects, there's no contradictory to each other, because the 4th one is not a separate entity from the 3 objects of refuge. Because we say the guru is the combination of all the refuge, or all the 3 gems, or all the triple gems. And then we also need to take refuge in the Buddha. So when we say separately, then we need to explain separately. But actually, all the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha are combined into Buddha, and Buddha combined into Guru. So Guru becomes a combination of all the refuge. So when we explain separately, it doesn't mean in reality they are separate. But when we explain, we can explain separately to have a clear understanding of what we mean by saying Buddha. So according to the Mahayana tradition, Buddha means one who has the 3 kayas, Dhammakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya. Dhammakaya is the wisdom, the ultimate wisdom, which is free from all the obscurations, including their propensities. And Sambhogakaya is one that has the 5 certainties. The certainty of place means always remain in the Akanishtaram. Certainty of time means always remain there. And certainty of body means always adorned with 32 signs and 8 qualities. And the certainty of teaching means always giving the Mahayana teachings. And the certainty of disciple means always giving teachings to the noble bodhisattvas, not to ordinary bodhisattvas. To noble bodhisattvas, those who have already gained bhumis. And then there's a Nirmanakaya. And Nirmanakaya has many different forms or many different aspects. Like our Shakyamuni Buddha is also one of the Nirmanakaya form. So Nirmanakaya form can be in the form of Buddha, or it can be in the form of Dharma king, or bodhisattvas, or dharmic ministers, or ordinary beings, or even in the form of animals, or even in the form of inanimate objects, like bridge, boat, etc. So wherever any form is needed, Buddha can be appeared in such and such forms to benefit the sentient beings. And Buddha benefit the sentient beings not only for a short period of time, but all the time until the samsara ends. And then Dharma. Actually, the word Dharma in Sanskrit can mean many different things. As it is said by the great Acharya Vasubandhu, the word Dharma in Sanskrit can have 10 different kinds of meanings. But here, when we say Dharma, it means, or it refers to the Buddha Dharma, And Buddha Dharma has two: the teaching and realization. Teaching means like Tipitakas and other genuine teachings. And then realization means first receive the teaching and then practice the teaching, and through this one can gain the inner realization or inner quality. That is also known as the Dharma. Actually, that is the real Dharma. The realization is the real Dharma. Although both are Dharma, but realization is more important. Then there's a Sangha. Actually, the word Sangha means both lay followers and celibate monks and nuns followers of the Buddha. But within these two categories, lay and celibates, there are many different levels, like ordinary sanghas who are on the path of accumulation and the path of application, and noble sanghas who are on the path of seeing and the path of meditation. But here we mainly, here it refers to the noble sanghas, mainly to the noble sanghas. So, the object of refuge means Guru, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Outwardly, we can divide it into four, but in reality, all are in same nature. Or in other words, we should think that Guru is a combination of all the refuge. Now the third main topic of the refuge is the procedure of taking refuge. So for this, first we need to sit in a comfortable seat, and we should sit in a meditational posture. The best way is to sit in a full cross-leg position. If not, then half cross-leg position. But anyway, we need to have like the 7-point Vedachana meditational posture, like ideally the two legs in a full cross-leg position, and then the two hands in a meditational posture under the navel, and your spine should be straight. And you should, the eyes should look towards your tip of nose, etc. So there are 7 points of meditational posture. So with such meditational posture, then we should practice the refuge. And also, if there's a shrine, then in front of the shrine, like Buddha's statue or Thanga, etc., then we should have elaborated offering objects. And if you don't have the offering objects in front of the shrine, then mentally we should think that if there's no shrine or no offering objects, then mentally we should think that in front of us, in the space above, there's a Guru, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas in front of us, and they are not just imagination, but they are in real. Since the triple vision is explained in a common way or as a preliminary teaching, So therefore, we should visualize the Buddha in the form of the common Buddha form, not in the form of deity, but in the form of like Shakyamuni Buddha. And it is surrounded by all the Buddhas, gurus and Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So like, actually, the Guru is in the form of, Guru is the combination of all the triple gem, but when we visualize, we can visualize the Buddha Shakyamuni in the center and surrounded by gurus and Buddhas, other Buddhas and Bodhisattvas such as Maitreya, Manjushri, etc. And then disciple, here it says disciple, which means like Sharavakas and Patika Buddhas. And we should think that all of them are in real, in the nature of light. Then in front of this, one's own present light, father and mother, and then all the other sentient beings. We should visualize all of them with us and think that all of them are doing refuge practice together, like physically in a respectful form and folded hand, verbally reciting in the respectful form, reciting the refuge prayers, and mentally with sincere faith and devotion. And think that whatever situation that we may face in our life, whether it's good or bad, happy or sad feeling, we should always rely on the Guru and Triple Gem, always submit ourselves wholeheartedly under the guidance of Guru and Triple Gem. And then when we recite, and also, first when we visualize this Guru, we can, under the Shakyamuni Buddha in the center, we should think that this Buddha Shakyamuni is seated on jewel throne lifted by 8 lions, 2 each from 4 directions, and then on this there's a lotus and mundus, and on these seats Buddha Shakyamuni is seated, and it is surrounded by other refuge objects. And all of them are real in the nature of light, just like rainbow. We can see the colors of rainbow very clearly, yet it is devoid of self-nature. It is devoid of true existence. And then, when we take refuge in the Guru, and when we take refuge in the Buddha, we focus on the center object of refuge, which is Shakyamuni Buddha. Think that this is one that is our guide and one that shows us the path. So when I said the Shakyamuni Buddha is surrounded by gurus and Buddhas as other Buddhas, etc., it means other gurus, not the root guru, but other gurus. Then when we take refuge in the Dharma, we need to focus on the pile of Dharma books which is behind the Shakyamuni Buddha, and think that this is the real path. Actually, Buddha is very important, but main thing for us is to practice the Dharma. So Dharma is the real path. Buddha himself said, I have shown you the path to gain liberation. Whether one can gain liberation or not depends on yourself. So anyway, the Dharma is the real path. And then when we take refuge in the Sangha, we focus on surrounding Bodhisattvas, etc., and think that these are our spiritual companions. And we should do this kind of a refuge practice not by ourselves alone, but with all the others who are with us in front of the refuge field. So in this way, we should recite the refuge prayers, the 4 lines of refuge prayers as much as we can with a proper visualization. Generally speaking, for example, if a person has a problem, then such problem cannot be solved by person himself or herself, then person need to seek help from others. And that other person must have 3 qualities. First one is that that person need to know how to solve our own problem. Second is that that person should have the wish to help, wish to solve our own problem. Third, that person should have the power to solve our own problem. If they know how to solve, but if they don't have the wish, then it won't help. Sometimes beggars going around near the rich person's house, but still, if the rich person, they don't have the wish to give a food to a beggar, then still beggar will experiencing the suffering of hunger and thirst. So just knowing how to solve the problem will not help. You need the wish to help. But if you know how to help, and also you have the wish to help, but if you don't have the power, then you cannot help. For example, a crippled mother, if her child is driven away or carried away by the water, then at that time the mother knows how to save and also have the wish to save her child. But since she is crippled, she don't have the power to swim or to go into the water and rescue her child. So if one of these 3 qualities are missing, then it is difficult to help. It is difficult to solve our own problem. So person to whom we are seeking the help should have all these 3 qualities. So similarly, Buddha has the ultimate knowledge, who knows every details of solving the problem, and Buddha has the great compassion. So Buddha always help others. Just like a mother who has only one child, then this mother has very strong affection or compassion towards her only child. Similarly, Buddha has more than this kind of compassion to all the sentient beings without any discrimination or exception. And Buddha also has full power or ultimate power to solve all the problems. Just by giving one line of teaching, or just by radiating a light rays from his own body can benefit infinite sentient beings. So, if we take refuge in such object without any hesitation, with strong belief, with full confidence, and with right visualization, then there's no doubt that we can be rescued from all these sufferings and problems. So, to do our refuge practice, the main thing is not just the recitation of the refuge prayers. Main thing is to do the visualization, do the concentration. For example, when we go out, and then suddenly if there's rain, then just reciting umbrella, umbrella will not help you to avoid getting wet. We really need to get umbrella, or we really need to go under the roof to avoid getting wet. Being wet? By getting wet, avoid getting wet. So, similarly, just reciting the refuge prayers without any visualization or concentration will not help much. Although it's beneficial just by reciting the prayers, but it won't help much. So after reciting the refuge prayers with the visualization, as many as possible, or as much as we can, and then at the end, then you need to do the supplication prayers. So, supplicating to bless my mental continuum, supplicating to the refuge field to bless our mental continuum. So bless our mental continuum means bless to transfer our thought into wisdom. Transforming the thought into wisdom is a real blessing. Then we also need to supplicate others, the other supplication prayers. We need to do the other supplication prayers. So, first, can I have the English one? The prayers here, right? Okay. Bless us that we may traverse the path of religion. So this one means to practice Dharma, we must not have the attachment to this life. Like, for example, keeping moral conduct, studying, contemplation, and meditation. Whatever we do, if we do for the sake of this life, then it is not the real Dharma. So therefore, if we practice Dharma for this life, then it's not right. So, bless us that we may traverse the path of religion means we should not have the attachment to this life. Then second, it says, bless us that we may be cleared of all errors. I think the first one is this one. Bless us that our minds may become attuned to the Dharma. So this means that we should not have attachment to this life. And then second one, bless us that we may traverse the path of religion. So this means it means if we have attachment to the samsara, then we don't have the thought of renunciation. So we should not have attachment to the samsara. Then bless us that the way may be cleared of all errors, means we should not have attachment to the self-purpose. If we have this, then we don't have the bodhicitta. And then bless us that the illusory visions may appear as transcendental wisdom. So I think that shows the view, which means if we have the grasping thought, then we don't have the right view. So we should pray that may all the impure or illusory vision be appeared in the form of pure vision. So these 4 lines of prayers, starting from bless us that our minds may become attuned to the Dharma, until bless us that the illusory visions may appear as transcendental wisdom. So these 4 lines explains about departing from the 4 attachment, or these are the meaning of the 4 lines of departing from the 4 attachment teaching. And then it says, bless us that irreligious thoughts may never arise. And then bless us to accomplish the 2 kinds of enlightenment thought. Actually, not only the 2 enlightenment thoughts, but also loving kindness, compassion, and the bodhicitta. All these. Bless us to accomplish all these. Bless us to quickly attain Buddhahood. So we do this kind of prayers like 3 times or more. Then after these prayers, then we say that, see me through the transcendental wisdom of omniscience, heed me through the compassion of love, cherish me through the activities of transcendental deeds, protect me through the power of shielding, and bless and keep a watch over me. So we do such prayers, and then at the end, and then after all this, then we need to do a meditation. So up to here is known as the relative bodhicitta. Then after this, then when we meditate, we can meditate on the ultimate view, and that kind of meditation is known as the ultimate refuge, without any thoughts. Then, then the third part is the conclusion part, which means to dedicate and to adopt mindfulness and alertness. So at the end, when we rise from the session, we should dedicate the merits that we gain through the practice of refuge, along with all our merits. For this, we dedicate all these merits to attain Buddhahood for the sake of all the sentient beings. So, doing a proper dedication is very important. By doing proper dedication, one's virtues or one's practice becomes more stronger, and also one's practice is more difficult to destroy by negative thoughts such as anger. So by doing proper dedication, our virtues increase, our virtues become stronger, and or in other words, our practice or virtues multiplies or become stronger. And now, and also during the post sessions, we should have mindfulness to remember the qualities of the Triple Gem, Guru and Triple Gem. And also, we should have the alertness so that we will be careful. We won't do any negative actions. So if we have mindfulness and alertness, then that will protect ourselves from doing negative actions. It will protect us. It will guide us to do the right actions all the time, even during the post-meditative sessions. So anyway, during the post-meditative session, the main thing is to do action which is according to the Buddha's teaching and which is not against Buddha's teaching or against the precept of taking refuge. So now the fourth main point is the benefits of taking refuge. Actually, it says refuge is the cause of developing all the other Buddhist vows. Without refuge vow, we cannot take any other Buddhist vows. So, this is the cause of taking other Buddhist vows, or in other words, it is the base of all the Buddhist vows. And also, by taking the genuine refuge vow, one transforms the name. From non-Buddhist, one becomes Buddhist. Then also, one becomes or one will be protected by the Dharma protectors and others. Actually, there are many other benefits, but in short, as it is said in the sutra, if the benefits of taking refuge is in a physical form, then the whole universe is too small to contain it. So it means it has a great benefit. And then the fifth one is the precepts of taking refuge. Actually, the precepts has two: the general precepts and specific precepts of refuge. First, the general precepts of refuge means one should associate with the Dharmic practitioners, and one should listen, or in other words, like one should associate with masters or Dharmic teachers or Dharmic practitioners, and also one should associate with Dharma friends, and also one should try to influence other practitioners to practice Dharma, or others can influence us to practice Dharma if we associate with good Dharmic practitioners. And then also one should listen to the teaching, like Sutra and Tantric teachings. One should listen to the genuine teaching, not false teaching, but to the genuine teaching. Actually, Sakya Pandita in his text, clarifying the sage's intent, he said about the genuine teaching. He explains about the genuine teaching. So genuine teaching means one that is taught by Buddha, one that is collected by the collectors or the Buddha's direct followers, and one that is expounded by the Panditas, one that is meditated upon by the great Mahasiddhas, and one that is translated by the great or genuine translators, and one that is well known to all the Buddhist scholars. So such teaching is a genuine teaching. Then also, whatever we do, whatever actions that we do through our body, speech, and mind, we need to do according to the Dharma teaching. Actually, it says our behavior should be according to the Vinaya, and our meditation should be according to the Sutra, and our teaching or expounding, I think, or Shepa explanation should be according to the Abhidhamma, and mantra yana should be according to the Tantras. And then also, whatever actions that we do, like mundane actions like going, sleeping, sitting, etc., at that time also we should remember the qualities of Buddha, etc. And then also we need to have great compassion towards all the sentient beings without any exception. And we need to think of others because we all have the same wish. We all have the wish to remove suffering and gain happiness. Because of this, we need to help others, or we need to think of others. And also, helping others is the cause for happiness. Thinking of oneself alone is the cause of suffering. Because of this also, we need to help others, I think. And also, since all the sentient beings has been our own dear parents or close ones in our life, in our past lives, because we are born in this samsara not only one time, but infinite times, and whenever we are born, our parents and close ones will change all the time. So therefore, we can say that all the sentient beings has been one's own dear ones, because we have taken infinite lives. So we need to help them, we need to generate compassion towards all the sentient beings, and then also we need to make food offering, or we need to offer our food, and the first food or drink we need to offer to the Guru and Triple Gem, etc. So in short, whatever situation that we may face in our life, whether it's happy or sad, we should always develop genuine faith and devotion and take refuge in the Guru and Triple Gem all the time. Then there's a specific precepts, like after taking refuge in the Buddha, we are not allowed to take refuge in the mundane gods, etc. But it does not mean one cannot make offerings. Although one can make offerings, but one cannot take refuge. Offerings and refuge are not the same meaning. And after taking refuge in the Dharma, we are not allowed to harm any sentient beings. And after taking refuge in the Sangha, we are not allowed to make non-Buddhists as our spiritual friends. And also, whatever Buddha statue that we see, we should always respect. Whether it's made it beautifully or not, we should always need to respect and generate faith, and we should not disregard any statues of Buddha. Even a piece of Buddha's statue we should respect. And also, we should respect the Buddha's words or Dharma words that are in the books or in the form of pictures. So all the Dharma words are object of our respect, object of our refuge. So we should not overstep Dharma books. We should not put Dharma words on the floor. We should always put on a higher place, and we should always respect. And also, we should always respect the celibate monks and nuns, irrespective of their behaviors. From our side, we should respect, because they are the object of our veneration. Even we should not overstep piece of their robes. So we should do all these, we should keep all these precepts. And also, there are other precepts like we should not give up the Triple Gem or Guru and Triple Gem at all costs or at any time. And whatever sickness or suffering that we have, we should not abandon this Triple Gem. And also, we should always do prostration to the object of Triple Gem, or we should always do prostration to the Triple Gem, etc. So we should always believe in the Triple Gem. We should always have faith and devotion in the Triple Gem. We should not think that I can do any actions without relying on Guru and Triple Gem. If we think like this, then it means we don't have strong faith, or we don't have full confidence in the Buddha, in the Guru and Triple Gem. So we should have full confidence. We should submit ourselves under the direct guidance of Guru and Triple Gem wholeheartedly. So with this, the root of all the Buddhist path, which is refuge, that is already explained in a brief way. So with this, today's teaching has been concluded, and now at the end we should do dedication prayers with the visualization.